Hey wild ones, I'm Lucy and this is Pussy Powered. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 reasons to have period sex. Before we dive in though, I want to emphasize how personal and intimate of a decision it is whether you and or your partner want to have period sex or not. For some women, they find that they're just too uncomfortable, or they're too crampy or achy or just tired to even think about anything sexual, while other women may find that they are exceptionally horny during this time. And other women could take it or leave it depending on the context and the level of connection with their partner. Personally, in our 15 years of marriage, Ryan and I have not had a whole lot of period sex. And actually, it was early on that we tried it out and it just was too messy, it wasn't worth it, and I had so many hang-ups about my sexuality and my body, and I felt disgusting during my period. And of course, Ryan felt that energy and didn't want to have to convince me to have sex on my period. So we put sex during period on a shelf for a long fucking time. And after I did begin to work through my own sexual shame and body disgust and all of these different things, these different pains that I had inside of me, and as we began to also work on issues and things within our relationship, my bleeding days were no longer off limits to sexual stuff. We would still do the sexting and the dirty talk and the fantasy play, explore different forms of pleasure for him, and keep the sexual fires burning and the anticipation building for whenever we could have sex again without a mess. Until recently, when we had an unexpectedly, wildly hot, sexy night where I was smack dab in the middle of my period and we got oh so freaky anyway. And while I am used to continuing my self-pleasure ritual during my period, this just blew that out of the fucking water. So this got me thinking, I have yet to share anything about period sex. And while I know a lot of women do it or want to do it or want to talk to their partners about it, or maybe the partner wants to do it, there still aren't a whole lot of people talking about it, so I felt like it's time. It's time to talk about period sex. So without further ado, here are 3 reasons to have period sex. The first great reason to have sex on your period is less cramps, or at least less intense cramps. Alright, so this is one that I found all over the fucking place. It is a general consensus that when you have orgasms during your period, you have less intense cramps and less pain overall. And reportedly that has to do with the fact that during orgasm, the uterus contracts, and so upon release, you get a sense of relief. The other part of that is the endorphins and all those feel-good chemicals that are released in the brain when you come, which can act as a natural painkiller and just help you to feel so fucking good. There's also speculation that having orgasms on your period helps to shorten your period. And supposedly that's because the more intense contractions of the uterus help to expel the contents that are being shed. More research needs to be done on that for sure, but that is something that a lot of doctors have mentioned. The second great reason to have period sex is increased blood flow. With increased blood flow comes more sensitivity and more potential arousal and more potentially intense orgasms. I've heard so many women share how their orgasms are so intense during their periods. In fact, my orgasms are the most intense during my period. There is so much amazingness that you can share with a lover if you are both on board with period sex. And finally, the third and, in my opinion, most powerful reason to have period sex is releasing body shame. There is something so vulnerable and intimate about having period sex, about sharing this experience that is potentially messy, that is a little bit on the fringes of what's comfortable or the norm. Coming to a place of not only acceptance, but like embracing the womanhood that we embody. And there is something so special and so sacred and so beautiful about being embraced and honored and even ravished while our bodies are doing this powerful ritual of release. And if you're into sex magic, combining these elements of blood and sex and arousal and desire and building sexual energy is just incredibly powerful. And along with all of this, having sex on your period can reveal or bring up to the surface maybe some hidden or repressed unknown feelings you have about your body, or that your partner has about your body, or that you have about your womanhood. Maybe it brings up feelings of disgust or uncleanliness. Maybe it brings up feelings of incredible empowerment, excitement, connection, and possibility. You just never know until you try. So if you haven't tried period sex yet, let me know in the comments below what has kept you from trying period sex. And if you've tried it and you're just not that into it, what is it that holds you back from wanting to experiment with it some more? And also let me know if this is a topic that you would like to hear more about, because there is definitely a lot to unpack here and a lot of opportunities to learn through it. Also, for those of you who are in committed relationships looking to add some excitement and passion and eroticism to your sex life, stay tuned for my new 25 days of play coming soon, as are you. Be sure that you are subscribed to my mailing list and updates in the link below, or just go to pussypowered.me, and along with that you will also receive my free 4-day mini video series, Orgasmic Pussy. Those who are subscribed to my mailing list will be the first to find out about when 25 days of play goes live, so please be sure that you are in the loop and getting all of the exclusive first invitations. Alright, wild ones, that's it for today. 3 reasons to have period sex. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with some friends, and subscribe for more on sexual empowerment and healing for women. In the meantime, here's to your awakening and your pleasure for a pussy-powered life.